Hello, everybody. Today, which is Thursday, uh, at least as of this recording, probably it's going to be released tomorrow, which is Friday. Uh, MK12 or Mortal Kombat 1 was announced today, and I mean, gotta come up with some theories, right? Uh, in this, I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about the trailer a little bit. Uh, in the trailer, we saw quickly, I'm actually just going to go through here. So, it's kind of a tier list, kind of not. This tier list is essentially characters that I believe are going to be making it into MK12, and their likelihood of it. And you may see the likely cameo fighter. That is because of a new system being implemented called cameo fighters, which play assists similar to stuff like Pokken or other games of the sort. And it's made kind of obvious that it's its own roster. So I want to put like characters that I think that like they're not likely to be the main roster, but they are likely to be cameos. Uh, so in the trailer, the first character we see is clearly Liu Kang, who kind of introduces the new timeline and everything, kind of establishes that. Then it cuts to both Raiden and Kung Lao, in like this like field cottage area. Then after that, we cut over to. I don't think it was Scorpion. So I think that part went to Katana and Melina, to their appearance in the trailer, together either in Edenia or what we had kind of seen more of what Outworld was at, like in MKX and MK12, MK11. Followed up by Scorpion Sub Zero's meeting. Interesting thing a lot of people are pointing out is that Scorpion has the Lin Kuei insignia on his attire, potentially showing that the Shirai Ryu don't exist, and that the Lin Kuei are a collective of fire and ice. And then we get to see Shang Tsung appear as well. I think that's every character that made an appearance. I might be missing one. I'll probably be able to notice when we get to it. But that was every character that was announced in right off the bat in the trailer. There actually was one more, Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is, if you look at the FAQs on the MK12 Discord, the official Mortal Kombat Discord, as well as the Mortal Kombat website, there's like FAQs and stuff talking about the game, and we learn, it's made obvious that Johnny Cage is going to be in the game, and if you get the pre-order with the Combat Pack, there is a Jean-Claude Van Damme skin for Johnny Cage. Kind of guarantees he's going to be in the game. Whether he's DLC or not, it's pretty obvious he's not going to be. Uh, and you could tell by the list of characters what we're mostly looking at here, and that is Mortal Kombat 1 version 3. We saw this in Mortal Kombat 1, we saw it in Mortal Kombat 9, and we're seeing it again in Mortal Kombat 1. So just kind of go with it. Sonya, pretty much guaranteed that she's going to be in it. If every character from MK1 except for her and Kano are in it, she's going to make an appearance. Speaking of Kano, he's also going to be in there. Pretty much guaranteed. Same with Goro. I think Goro is going to still be the sub-boss character. I think that they said that Shang Tsung might not be the big villain, but he's definitely at least the sub-boss, which means that if that's the case and Shang Tsung isn't the main villain and it's like probably going to be Shao Kahn, if that's the case, then like Goro probably won't be in the game. Maybe appear. He's either in the roster or he's going to be a cameo fighter. Regardless, I think he's going to be in the game in some way. Reptile, the first character, I think he's likely to be in it. Reptile's kind of more associated with Shang Tsung. as well as Shao Kahn. So if one of these two characters is the big villain, then it's pretty much guaranteed that Reptile is going to be involved. Baraka, I think it's likely. It's not guaranteed like Reptile or Kano or Sonya. I'm actually gonna put Goro down to likely as well because Goro is potentially in it, whether he's a cameo or a main roster member. That's yet to be seen. Baraka is the same kind of thing. He's associated with the reign of Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn, and in MK11 he was kind of given his own thing finally, and it was nice to see that he wasn't just a lackey. Like he made decisions for his people, which is something we haven't seen before. It was kind of just like whoever's in power in Outworld is who we'll like pledge our allegiance to. Like they were back and forth whether they wanted to, Brock was back and forth like, do I go with Katana and in them or do I go with Shao Kahn? So we finally get character development for Baraka. It'd be really unfortunate if he just kind of vanished and we forgot about him. Jax, I don't see Jax being a member of the roster. I think that it's going to be more focused around, the like Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and Raiden, Shang Tsung, and pretty obvious. I'm just going to talk about Shao Kahn alongside Jax, I guess, because the story's going to be centered around like Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn, Liu Kang, Raiden, Kung Lao, more than special forces characters like Sonya and Jax and stuff like that. So to see, like, it's more likely that we're going to be seeing Jax later down the line, like in the next game or maybe even DLC, but definitely not in the main game. Kintaro, I don't see him appearing at all. He comes after Goro, so if Goro's kind of maybe, Kintaro's no. Noob, no. I think that Kuai Liang is not the Sub-Zero in the trailer. I think that is Bihan. And if Bihan is Sub-Zero, then there is no Noob. There's no Noob Saibot. Smoke, honestly, depending on how you're going at it, because he's pretty much always been associated with the Lin Kuei. And if the Lin Kuei are kind of going to be a main part of the story, I think Smoke is definitely going to be one of those characters that are going to be likely to be in it. Because he is so close to Sub-Zero. So it makes sense for him to make it into the roster. Shiva, I could possibly see if Goro is in the roster, then I think Shiva is going to be a cameo fighter. If not, I don't. Same with Kintaro. If I think it all just depends on where Goro is. If Goro is in, if Goro's going to be a cameo fighter, these two are not appearing at all. And if Goro is in the main roster, at least one of them are going to appear as a cameo, I think. Nightwolf, I don't see him. Maybe a cameo fighter, maybe not. Honestly, I'm actually gonna make another one. So we have an unlikely cameo fighter, and we have our not appearing section. I'll throw those three in unlikely cameo fighter because, again, Nightwolf doesn't really make sense in this part of the story. He might appear as an NPC, or something, but definitely not in the main roster. Jade, I actually think will likely be involved because, a lot of the story will be around Katana and Melina, so it only makes sense that Jade is in there as well, to kind of establish Edenia. Because you really don't have many Edenians to build off of, and you're already establishing Earthrealm, Outworld, and Edenia in the middle. And then going into it, we have Striker. Honestly, I could see Striker being a cameo fighter because of relation to like special forces. If again, if Sonya is in the game, I think Striker will probably be involved as well. Just as a cameo fighter though. Cabal, he might make it. Like it's definitely not likely, because I don't see the Black Dragon being involved in the story. I'm actually gonna move Kano down to not likely as well. I don't like again. I don't think that it's going to be a special forces game, which is weird because MK9 and MKX were both and MK11 were all special forces with nothing but special forces. But I think this one's gonna be more focused around Liu Kang and his crew. Sector and Cyrax. I don't think that they're going to appear, maybe as DLC. I think that they're likely DLC characters, if they're going to be appearing at all. Because I mean, like, again, like what I said about Smoke, Sector and Cyrax are both part of the Lin Kuei, as the Cyber Initiative. And, you know, Smoke got brought into that as well in MK3. Now, it's just a matter of, is the Cyber Initiative going to be a thing? Which is why I'm saying it's not likely, because I don't think they're going to be in there. And I don't think they're going to do their human forms as main characters. It just doesn't make sense. Ermac? I'm going to say he's not appearing. As much as I love Ermac, Ermac is probably one of, if not my favorite character in Mortal Kombat. Next to Noob, as well as a couple of 3D era characters. Ermac just doesn't make sense at this point in time. You know, we have too much going on for a character with this much required development and discussion to be appearing. Rain, he doesn't make sense in the story, and that's what a lot of these characters not appearing are going to be, is they just don't make sense at this point in time. Sindel, I think it's likely, because again, with the Edenia thing, I don't think Katana and Melina are either queens or cons, whatever, depending on what they're rolling over. Sindel is the queen of Edenia at this point in time, I feel like. So I don't think that they're going to have her be, like, discussed but not be in the roster. Mataro, not a chance. Again, just like, you know, Goro, Shiva, and Kintaro, if Goro isn't appearing, none of these three are going to be appearing. And it's very unlikely that Mataro is going to make an appearance before Shiva and Kintaro. And Goro. And even then, I mean, the last time we seen Mataro, they had to heavily neuter him just for the fact that they couldn't figure something out with him, and I think it's going to be the same way here. Chameleons, both male and female, not appearing. They were secret characters. That's what their intention was, and that's what their only reason for existing are. Quan Chi doesn't make sense in the story right now. Same with Shinnok. Fujin, I think will probably be a cameo fighter, because I mean he still is related to Raiden, so I think that he definitely will be like a guide, like a guide for Raiden. I think this game's gonna be a lot about Raiden, so it makes sense for Fujin to appear in some way. Tanya, I don't think it's time to take a shot with Edenia, with like someone turning on Edenia, or like a crisis in Edenia. Reiko, Shao Kahn's the main villain. Reiko will more than likely be a cameo fighter. Kai and Jarek, I'm gonna lump these two up together because it's similar reasons. I mean, Kai and Jarek, they were never really given an opportunity in MK4 or MK Armageddon. But Kai has nothing going for him. He has no character. He has no connection. Like, the only thing he had was being a student of Liu Kang in MK4. Other than that, I mean, he was very similar to in playstyle to Liu Kang and Kung Lao, and just really didn't make a whole lot of impact in the story. Same with Jarek, but replace him with Kano and a tiny bit of Cabal. And again, I already said Black Dragon not going to be involved in this. I hardly doubt it. I actually don't know why Cabal's in there. I don't think he's appearing at all. Just throw him down there. Meat, just like the Chameleons, he's a secret fighter. That's all he was intended to be. Serena doesn't really make sense here. Especially since Quan Chi's not appearing, she's not going to be appearing. Tremor, not a Special Forces game, and he was kind of a Special Forces villain. Kenshi, I think just to get him in there, they might do it as a cameo fighter, but I don't think it's likely. I think that he has potential to appear, but of the characters, I think he probably, honestly, of these four, has the most likelihood of appearing just because he is that spiritual guidance kind of character. Drummond, no. I don't think the Netherrealm's going to be involved in this, like, at all. Frost, honestly, I think it's like more likely than people would expect. Especially if it's based a lot around the Lin Kuei. You're going to have the Lin Kuei. You're going to want to build characters around it. You have Frost, you have Sub-Zero, you even have, like, Smoke, you have Scorpion. Like, you have a lot of those characters to be involved in it. And Frost, I think, would make a great addition to add that turmoil into it, either in MK1 or in the next game. Baraicho, I mean, again, I think this is going to be a lot about Liu Kang and his people. And, I mean, in the original timeline, he trained Liu Kang. And I think even in the new timeline, he technically trained him. And then he was also a guider, whatever, a keeper of the Jinsei in MKX. So it makes sense for Baraicho to be involved in this. But it's very likely he's either going to be a member of the main cast or he's going to be a cameo fighter. I think regardless, he's going to be in the game. Movado, if you're not having Black Dragon, you're not having Red Dragon. Same with Suhao. Natara, I don't see it because, I mean, like, it'd be a long shot. But I mean, they had her in the movie in the movie that came out in 21. So you have that kind of established connection with Shang Tsung and Nitara. So I could see it, but I don't think it's likely. Li Mei, it doesn't really make sense. She doesn't really need a spot, as well as Moloch. Blaze, Mocap, they were hidden characters. I mean, Blaze was the villain in Armageddon, but doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to have Blaze be the villain, since he's kind of like the final villain. Here we are, the trio of Order Realm. Dairu, I don't see being in there. Darius, I don't even see him appearing at all. Dairu, you know, here's a crazy theory that I have discussed with these cameo fighters is I think that this is NetherRealm's way of just blatantly just being like, hey guys, we have representation for the 3D era by making them NPCs. I think Hotaru and Dairu, actually, as well as Havoc, are going to be probably the only three that are going to make it. Like, we could see Ashura as well, but I don't see the NetherRealm appearing at all, much at all, at least. So I don't see Ashura making it. Shujinko, he's a whole character arc, and you're not gonna have that appear. Cobra and Kira, same reason as the rest of the Black Dragon. I don't see it being that big of a deal in this game. Onaga, again, not a big bad that you're gonna have. Like honestly, maybe not the Dragon King like design, like the Deception design, because that is Reptile. I don't even know where Reptile. There's Reptile. He's not gonna have that design because that's Reptile. If Reptile's in the game, that's not a thing, because in Deadly Alliance, that's how Onaga became what he looked like. It was because he fused with Reptile. I don't see Onaga appearing in that way. Maybe as like a human or like a lizard hybrid, like a Zaterran, like Reptile. But if it's not Shao Kahn or Shang Tsung as the main villain, I could see it being Onaga. Taven and Dagon, not a chance. Again, they're a whole character arc, like Shujinko. And Dagon is Red Dragon. Oh, Dagon is Red Dragon. Red Dragon are not going to be involved. Cyber Sub-Zero, not a chance. The Cyber Initiative, I don't see you being involved in this. Scarlet, I could see her being a cameo fighter. Mostly because, I mean, like, it's like the support of Reiko. She's a diehard, like, supporter of Shao Kahn. So, Kombat Kids, I don't see any of them making it. Because, again, we are at the start of the story again. I mean, if there's no Sonya, there are no Kombat Kids. If there is no Kenshi, if there's no Sonya, there's no Cassie. If there's no Jax, there's no Jackie. If there's no Kenshi, there's no Takeda. And, like, Kung Jin is the only one that could make it because Kung Lao was there, but like he also wasn't the son of Kung Lao. He was the nephew or cousin of Kung Lao. So, and I hardly doubt that if they're gonna have only one of them appear, I hardly doubt it's gonna be Kung Jin. Like, it would be Cassie and Jackie, like it was in 11. Kotal Khan. Doesn't make sense, I don't think. Like, maybe, depending on how, because I mean, like, in the story of X or 11, it was like known that like Kotal Khan was like a former disciple of Shao Kahn. Like, we could see him be like aligned with him as like a cameo fighter, but that seems too far-fetched to me. Devora, I don't see it happening. Aaron Black, same thing. And again, Black Dragon. Aaron Black, I think, was associated with Black Dragon, or part of it, or at least a mercenary that they used. Ferritor, doesn't make any sense. Collector, again, essentially for Garrus and Kronika as well, doesn't make any sense. Kronika is never going to appear again, I hardly doubt it. Garrus is connected to Kronika, and if Kronika's not in it, Garrus isn't going to make a chance. Cetrion, though, there is potential, because, again, she's related to Fujin and Raiden. I think she'll be an unlikely cameo fighter, because, again, like I had mentioned, she is related to Shinnok. She's related to Raiden. She's related to Fujin. Like, they're and Shao Kahn, because I think that they are brothers in the last timeline, at least. I don't know how much is still being connected from the previous one, so I could be wrong there. But so that is the like whole design of like how I think the roster is going to look. I think that the most likely roster is going to be, these 9 plus Frost, Sonya, Shao Kahn, Jade, and Reptile. and Sindel. So that is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 14 characters for the base roster. Maybe get Smoke in there for 15 and Jade for 16. And then DLC, a lot could go with that, but I'm not going to get into that until the main roster is official. I'll probably get into that once the game actually releases. So another thing I actually want to talk about is I said that I would predict how the story is going to go. So, Mortal Kombat 1. Either Mortal Kombat 1 or Mortal Kombat 2. It's just, who wants to invade our throne? Is it Shang Tsung or is it Shao Kahn? That's it. Liu Kang or Raiden or Kung Lao are going to be the canonical hero to save the day. And that's going to be it. Yeah. Like, it's unfortunate because there is a lot that you could do with MK, with this new one. But NRS has gotten into this groove of just wanting to focus on the same 5 characters, and they all have had way too much time on screen. It's just annoying at this point. Like honestly, a way that they could easily incorporate a lot of characters, like if they wanted to actually represent the 3D era, you know, you could have guys like you could incorporate Hotaru and Havoc into the story very, very easily, simply by having Liu Kang create the realms, right? He created Sato and Chaos Realm to show just how radical ideology can ruin a society, whether that is through dictatorship, like hardcore organization and in strictness, or complete free reign, and kind of show that you require a balance of character. Like, you need a balance of law and order and freedom to live in harmony, which is what Edenia can showcase, allowing you to incorporate, you know, Hotaru, Dairu, Darius, Havoc, even another Chaos Realm character that we had never met before. Like, that incorporates at least 4 members of the 3D era. And NRS is just not gonna, they're just gonna ignore it. They're gonna ignore the Order Realm, they're gonna ignore Chaos Realm, and stick with the same 3 realms that they've stuck with the same 4 realms that they've stuck with for the past 12 years. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for MK1. I'm pre-ordering it as soon as I can, but it's just frustrating as a fan of the 3D era that NetherRealm is showing this little care to the games, even though they keep promising we're gonna represent them, we're gonna give them more representation. When, look at this roster prediction, like, Baraicho is the only 3D character that probably stands a chance at making the main roster. Frost, kind of. But, you know, outside of that, none of them do. Because they have so many stories that you need to tell, and they're just not allowing that to happen. Like, if they would have just built off of the MKX comic, we would have had Havoc as a main factor, as well as Onaga. MK11 would have focused around Onaga, it would have focused around Havoc, it would have been focused on so many 3D characters and so many elements from that era, like the Kamidogu. But instead, we time travel and reset the timeline again because we have to. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm still excited. I'm looking forward to it. September 14th can't come faster because I plan on pre-ordering it and getting the early access. As things come along, I'll probably make more videos talking about it, because I am excited for it. I look forward to following this. Hopefully, you guys follow along with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is probably my likelihood of who's going to be in the game, whether they are a cameo fighter or is a member of the main roster. And hopefully NetherRealm proves me wrong. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I hope you have a wonderful day.